Weekly Weird News time.
That's right. Guys, these are some divisive and stressful times we're all living in right now. Last week, the US bombed an airfield in Syria after the Syrian government used poisonous sarin gas on civilians, getting us further involved in a complicated international crisis that doesn't seem to have any simple solution.
Wait, Elliot, because Donald Trump said that we bombed Iraq in a recent interview where he was talking about chocolate cake.
But anyway, that's Syria's strike. We used that to gain a kill streak, and we used that kill streak bonus to call in a Moab on Afghanistan. Whether or not any of this was the right decision or even an effective decision is really difficult to answer, but luckily for all of us, the Trump administration has a comedian on staff to help us all enjoy a nice laugh when things get a little tense.
And he's gonna be headlining the Correspondents' Dinner.
Can't wait.
That man's name is, of course, Sean Spicer. Spicy Boy Spicer. And while his official title is White House Press Secretary, he's better known to comedy nerds as one of today's most prolific talents in the comedic subgenre of political cringe comedy. Shows like Veep are the most visible examples of this, with lead character Selena Meyer constantly getting herself into painfully awkward situations through poor, ego-driven decision-making. But that's amateur hour.
Come on.
Sean Spicer's comedy isn't on HBO. It's on every major news network multiple times a week, live and completely improvised. Comedians are going to be studying his work for generations to come. You know, a lot of people say that Andy Kaufman is still alive. If he is, I think that this is the greatest role he's ever played.
It could be. Spicer's comedic specialty is telling obvious bald-faced lies to a room full of highly informed people and then awkwardly doubling down on those lies when confronted. Previous jokes in his set include his gag about Donald Trump's inauguration crowd being the biggest ever, his insistence that Donald Trump does not own a bathrobe, and the prop comedy of wearing his American flag pin upside down as a sign of distress. But that was all just a warm-up for his latest comedy special, Sean Spicer. Hitler did nothing wrong.
He looked at the SEO and he was like, wow, Hitler jokes and Hitler commentary are doing really well on YouTube right now, and we gotta get those sweet live views.
Let a professional take it.
Exactly. Now, yes, of course, this past week, Sean Spicer took a page from the YouTube playbook and he tried out some more edgy comedy. Spicer was asked about the bombing in Syria, and he used that as an opening for a bit he'd clearly been working on for a while, saying, "We didn't use chemical weapons in World War II. You know, you had someone as despicable as Hitler who didn't even sink to the using of chemical weapons." The joke here, of course, being the absurd idea that the spokesperson for the President of the United States is completely unaware of the Holocaust and Hitler's use of chemical weapons on millions of innocent people. A classic gag. A gaff, a gag, a gag. It's fun.
It's incredible. And when asked to clarify just what the hell he was talking about by journalists in the room, Spicer said of Hitler, "I think when you come to sarin gas, he was not using the gas on his own people the same way that Assad was doing. There was not he brought them to the Holocaust Center." A joke here being the insinuation that the German Jews and gypsies and homosexuals who were gassed to death in concentration camps weren't actually German, just as Hitler told us. And then there was also that nice little zinger at the end about concentration camps being called Holocaust centers. The man's a genius.
His timing needs work, but the jokes are there.
I don't know. The timing is one of my favorite parts.
Oh, okay, you could be right. Now, of course, the big cherry on top of Spicer's stand-up set was that this was all going down on day one of the Jewish Passover holiday.
Oh my God.
The whole thing is simply a masterclass in edgy cringe comedy. Can't wait for his Netflix special.
Yeah.
Gonna be great. And the best part is that after upsetting every major Jewish organization on earth, as well as the government of Israel, Spicer apologized, and they simply had to accept his apology because clearly Sean Spicer isn't an anti-Semite, nor does he have a hateful bone in his body. He was just simply showing through his comedy the absurdity of viewing modern events through the lens of World War II history from 75 years ago.
It's got a message.
Yeah, he apologized, he deleted the video. Sorry, it was live and broadcast across the country and the globe and backed up, so he couldn't delete the video, but he did apologize, guys. He said he was sorry.
He said he was sorry.
And he tried to delete the video.
He's got nothing to be sorry for. Like he's showing. It's a great thing comedy does when you show like how bad ignorance is by like having your character say something really ignorant.
Yeah.
Like a lot of shows do that really, like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Veep, Curb Your Enthusiasm. But like Spicer, he's at the top of the pack now, I think.
No doubt about it.
Anyway, in any case, Spicer, he had plenty of competition for bad PR over this past week. Downplaying the human rights abuses of the Third Reich, pretty egregious. But at least Sean Spicer didn't beat the shit out of an old man who just wanted to get to work on time. We covered the whole debacle with United Airlines and Dr. David Dow earlier this week.
Triple D.
And how this was actually nothing new for an airline with a reputation for treating its customers like dog shit. But now, Dr. David Dow's lawyer has revealed the extent of the injuries inflicted on his client. It was a broken nose, a concussion, 2 knocked out teeth, and damage to his sinuses that will probably require reconstructive surgery.
Great job, United. Now, this is totally more cost effective than offering passengers more money to get bumped from their flight, or, God forbid, planning better.
Nah.
Anyway, because United has, they have a history of bad things happening to their passengers while flying the friendly skies, the Dr. Dow beatdown story actually overshadowed yet another United fuck up from last weekend. A goddamn scorpion not only managed to get on a flight, but it also fell from an overhead bin onto a passenger and then stung him while the plane was midair, flying from Houston to Calgary. Luckily, the injuries were not life-threatening, but damn. United does not stop.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a better method to get people to get out of their seat. You just put emergency scorpions right above their seat, and they won't get up. You're like, press the emergency scorpion button.
I'm more scared of scorpions on a plane than snakes on a plane.
Anyone who has ever seen the classic film, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, has a ridiculous fear of scorpions.
They kill Auntie.
Regardless of what part of the country you live in, even if they're not, and this proves it, they're flying all around the damn country. Well, they could be anywhere.
All of them. Anyway, on to some actual weird news. We might soon have a definitive answer about what lies beneath the water at Scotland's Loch Ness.
Can I guess what it is? It's just sand and dirt.
Probably. I've seen no evidence otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, since 1933, there have been dozens of supposed sightings of a large, mysterious creature living in the lake that is just outside of Inverness. But even with modern technology, believers just somehow haven't yet been able to provide any definitive proof of Nessie's existence. Just some blurry and unconvincing photos and videos, and a few outright hoaxes.
Well, the water is very murky. It's hard to look beneath it.
We don't know what's down there.
Yeah, they put cameras down there. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
Were the dozens of people that reported the photos of Nessie also non-nudes that shower in jean shorts?
You mean what?
There are dozens.
Oh. See, I don't have the Sean Spicer wit to be able to follow these references.
Yeah, and
Spicer would have gotten it.
15-year-old reference. Now, a big reason for this is that, first of all, Loch Ness is pretty big. The surface measures 56 square kilometers, and it reaches depths of at least 700 feet. So, if there is, in fact, some sort of aquatic dinosaur species in there, it's got plenty of room to hide. Still, people continue to search, and that works out pretty well for the local hotels and tourist attractions, but...
Oh yeah, there's totally a monster in there.
Yeah, you should probably get a room at our hotel. You get a great view of the lake.
Pay a few hundred extra pounds, and you get the view of the lake. You might be able to spot him.
Mm-hmm. But what if there were an easy way to definitively say whether or not there's an undiscovered species living in Loch Ness? Well, good thing there is.
Yeah. It's called environmental DNA, which in this specific case would involve taking samples of the water in Loch Ness and comparing whatever DNA information shows up in there to a list of known species. Much like in crime scene investigation, organisms leave behind DNA evidence everywhere they go via dead skin, feces, mucus, and so on.
And semen.
And
everywhere.
Semen.
It's all over the place.
And
take a black light to any hotel room.
Nessie's got a big dick.
Yeah, if you've seen the pictures, that's not his head sticking out of the water.
No.
That's his big fucking dick.
That's how we went wrong this whole time.
Yeah. That's how he breathes through his dick. Listen, it doesn't exist. We can make up whatever we want about it.
Yeah.
He breathes through his dick.
Cryptid. We don't know. Anyway, so, what was that? Yeah, DNA.
And semen.
With enough analysis of any sample of an environment, you can make a list of every single species in a lake just based off a few water samples. Usually this is used in conservation efforts to monitor biodiversity and detect invasive species. Boring. But if Nessie really does exist, this would be a pretty surefire way to figure that out.
But what about the local businesses? Who's gonna sell those stuffed Nessie dolls with the big dicks for heads?
They're gonna start just faking,
and then
more fake
the
sightings.
fucking local sports teams, the Loch Ness dickheads, they're not gonna be able to play anymore. I fucking hate myself.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm working up to become the press secretary at the White House, so I'm trying all this out on the show today, but whatever, maybe there is no future there. Now, New Zealand-based geneticist Professor Neil Gemmell, he wants to actually go ahead and do it. Apparently he doesn't have a lot going on. He mainly wants to do it just to test out a relatively new technology in a way that attracts attention and educates the public. He told New Zealand outlet News Hub, "I like the idea that there might be something there that we don't know. And I'd be keen to I'd be keen to see if we can explore it further to put this to bed once and for all. What we'll be looking for is any DNA samples that look unusual to Loch Ness or unique to Loch Ness versus other lochs. Although I've got to say, I suspect if I find no evidence of the monster, that won't stop people seeing it, and it won't stop people from believing in it. Duh.
Yeah, he says he'll specifically be interested in seeing if DNA samples from the lake show evidence of an abnormally large catfish, as that's been one of the more believable explanations for the Nessie story over the years. Other theories that have been put forward include large eels, rotting dead trees, and seismic gas.
It's just gas.
But who knows? Professor Neil Gemmel might as well make sure that he has cash on him when he does this, though, because he might actually discover the Loch Ness Monster. And if he does, it's gonna ask him for tree fitting.
About to read it. Now moving on to a long-awaited update to a story that we first talked about almost 2 years ago. The highly anticipated robot mech fight between the United States and Japan, it's still happening.
Good, never forget.
Back in July of 2015, we reported that US-based robo company Megabots had issued a challenge to Japan's Tsurubashi Heavy Industries to have the American Megabots Mark II fight the Japanese Kuritas mech to the death. And of course, the Japanese accepted the challenge. We're friends now.
Yeah. To turn the challenge down would be a tremendous loss of face.
That mech would have to commit Sudoku.
Yeah, I wonder if they did they add that to? Right? They have to. The Japanese robot has to have a Sudoku feature.
Yeah, where it takes out a pen and a piece of paper and it
I'm
fills
losing
in the
this
numbers.
fight. Best to just cut the losses and then it just saws itself in half.
Yeah.
And then another robot comes up behind and finishes it off.
Yeah. That's seppuku, right?
I'm pretty sure it's Sudoku.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, since then, both parties have had to put a lot of work into setting up something that had literally never been done before outside of fiction. Both robots definitely were capable of fighting immediately, but there was no way to actually guarantee that the pilot manning them wasn't going to suffer a gruesome death in the process. Megabots has been tracking their progress on their YouTube channel pretty openly since securing $550,000 in Kickstarter funding, and one of their first videos was a pilot survival test. Good. It did not go well, obviously, but it showed that they had a lot of work to do and that they were willing to put in that work.
Yeah.
Learn from your mistakes. Admit that you were wrong, and then do better next time.
I think this robot is gonna play a big part in making America great again.
I think so too. It's a great representation of our country.
Yeah.
Unless it loses.
Yeah,
And then
they might have sent the manufacturing and the cars to Mexico and to China.
But we still make our mechs here.
But we're gonna make a robot that can fight other robots. Anyway,
Too bad ISIS doesn't have a robot.
It's a good thing ISIS does not.
No, but then we could fight it with our robot. And that would settle things, right? I'm pretty sure that's why Jared Kushner went over there. Listen, guys, just build a robot, we'll fight each other, and that'll be it.
Yeah, it'd be nice in the future when we settle all our fights via robots.
No, you make robots fight in space for us, and then whoever wins, you get the territory.
Yeah, I like it. Anyway, since beginning the project, Megabots has refined the robot quite a bit. They've documented the process on their YouTube channel, even building a life-size replica of their opponent's robot and testing various types of weapons on it.
I don't like that they're giving it all away on YouTube. It's giving the Japanese a little edge.
That's the thing. Now they have finally announced when the big duel is taking place. It'll be going down this August. It will be live streamed on both the Megabots and Tsurubashi YouTube channels. Interestingly, Tsurubashi has revealed basically nothing about their robots since accepting the challenge, choosing to play their cards very close to the vest, while the typically brash Americans document their whole process publicly. This might be their downfall.
It could be. So stay tuned for that, but come on, in other news, we got plenty more. It's been a while since we featured an example of Australians gone wild on the show, at least a couple days.
Yeah.
So the latest example is Terry Peck, known by his rap name, Tupac, who last week decided to get some street cred by breaking the law.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it wasn't graffiti or gun violence that he chose. It was dining at an expensive seafood restaurant and then running away into the ocean to avoid paying the bill. You know, you could have just gone there in the first place.
Details are a bit hazy, but the story seems to be that Tupac was drinking at Main Beach and Gold Coast, and then he got hungry. Very hungry. Because successful rappers enjoy the finer things, he went into a local high-end beachfront seafood restaurant and had himself 2 lobsters, a baby octopus, around 21 vodka oysters, that's an oyster with vodka in it, and several Coronas, adding up to $620 dues on the bill just for himself. And also presumably making Tupac very drunk and very full.
At least he followed the rules. The rules are, as soon as you eat a big meal, always go swimming.
Yeah.
So
It's the
she
best thing
nailed
you
it.
can possibly do.
Yeah.
Especially if you're drunk.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything that could go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. You float in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's fine. That's why they say go swimming right after you eat.
Yeah,
it makes you buoyant.
The alcohol thins your blood and
Yes,
makes you float better.
It's the safest time to go
Yeah.
swimming.
Yeah.
Anyways, Tupac, he isn't actually a successful rapper. People have dug up some of his tracks, and they're unequivocally terrible. So he didn't actually have, or at least we think he probably didn't have $620 dues on him. And so to get out of paying, he ran onto the beach and then tried to swim away when the police were notified. Or at least that's the official story. Tupac's side of the story is quite different. He said the award-winning restaurant's food was actually terrible, much like his rapping, and that they owed him an apology,
Yeah.
much like he owes all of us.
Yeah. But then he denies intentionally ditching the bill. He says instead that he received a phone call from a friend who happened to be on a nearby beach who was then going into labor. And he left to go help her because he's a hero. When he got to the beach though, he couldn't find this totally real person who was having a baby, and then he saw that the police were approaching. You know, he panicked, momentarily jumping into the ocean and trying to swim away, and you know what? He accidentally lost his wallet while that happened. The wallet which contained the money that he was totally planning on using to pay for the seafood bill once he got back to the restaurant.
Crocky, I had $600 dues in me wallet.
He lost me wallet.
I also lost me plaggers.
Yeah, he probably did.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
I like how if he was like, I went to go save someone. Oh, here come the police. They'll be able to help. Oh, no, I'll just run from them.
Well, he was on parole.
Oh.
He has a bad history with the police.
Well, anyways, police, they didn't give him a chance to go ahead and pay the bill. They apprehended him using jet skis. I like to imagine they just tied him up and dragged him.
They went after him with jet skis, and he tried to swim down to evade them.
We can wait.
So then they
Yeah.
oh shit, you're still here.
Well, they sent him to jail and then court. When the magistrate was told how much food and drink Tupac had ordered before leaving, she remarked, "Oh my God, by himself?" And then granted him bail on the condition that he stay the hell away from that seafood restaurant. Oh, and he was already, like Elliot said, on parole during the seafood incident. Now he's facing charges of theft and obstructing police. So at least he's getting street cred.
Yeah,
The rap career, it could take off as soon as possible.
it needs to.
I like to think his lawyer sat there and goes, "Does this look like a man who had all he could eat?" The Homer Simpson defense works every time.
Yeah.
Now, in order to hurry the whole rap cred up, he told reporters that he'd invited Eminem to come to Australia to rap battle him. Unfortunately, Eminem hasn't taken him up on the offer, so we don't know if that's ever going to happen or not.
Man, it's hard out here.
In Australia?
Gold Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the mean streets of Gold Coast, where it costs $620 to
And
use.
we don't have an ozone layer.
Yeah.
I tried was getting out of the sun. It's deadly.
Anyway, before we get into the second half of this show, hey, kid, what time is it? You probably just looked at your phone, didn't you?
I looked at my empty wrist, where
Yeah.
there should be a nice watch.
Well, why pull your phone out of your pocket every time you need to know how late you are for your obligations when you can wear the time of day right on your wrist? I know, it's this crazy new idea, but Movement Watches, that's what these are, watches, is this week's sponsoring advertiser. And they make classy watches, like this one on my wrist.
Movement watches start at just $95. Go check out their huge selection of classic and minimalist designs at mvmtwatches.com/MWW. And you'll also get 15% off your order with free shipping for purchases over $50 and free returns within 60 days of delivery for purchases over $50 if you change your mind. Step up your watch game. You're gonna be getting so many damn compliments on your new watch, you'll be telling everyone what time it is. Again, that is mvmtwatches.com/MWW for 15% off. Join the movement, and let's get into some headlines.
Yeah, here's the weirdest, best headlines from last week, starting with Korn's new bassist is 12 years old.
And that's not all. He's not just any 12-year-old.
He's pretty much the coolest 12-year-old.
Yeah, he's also the son of Metallica's bass player.
Yeah.
And he's going on tour with Korn. It's gonna be great.
He's pretty good. He's in this band with a bunch of other 12-year-olds who are all like prodigies.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Is it called Popcorn?
No, it has a much cooler name than that. But yeah, this fucking kid's just gonna be rocking out with Korn.
It's called Maze. Did they change their name to Maze when they go to Mexico? These are all for the correspondence dinner, so if you guys could give me like some advice on how to punch these jokes up. It is, I do hope that he extends it outside of that, because I'm seeing Korn in Las Vegas They're opening for Rammstein.
Yeah, he's doing like the South American tour. So this kid, I mean, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to be very protective of him. But yeah, 12-year-old getting to go on a major rock and roll tour.
It's gonna be great.
Good for him.
I hope he comes out for at least one song in Vegas. That'd be nice to see.
It's so funny, like, because he plays the bass. The bass is a large fucking instrument. Most bass players have big hands. They're big guys.
Yeah.
This is a little kid. He's like, bloop, 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 bloop.
Well, it's not like he's just playing bass for any old band either, because the bass guitar is very subtle in most bands.
In Korn, it's like,
In Korn, it's very present.
yeah, it's almost a drum.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the singer does a lot of the bass playing himself with his boom dop to doom dom balimas, but
Yeah.
I mean, putting all the bass players out of business.
Boom dop a doom dop a dingas.
That's what they're called, right?
Yeah.
The boom dop to doom bop balimas?
Yeah.
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 It's my favorite riff.
Next headline, man's week off to a better start despite BMW bursting into flames.
Well, at least it wasn't another Samsung product, I guess.
Because he had a near fatal heart attack last week and he's
Yeah.
recovering. He's like, all right, time to go back to work and get my life back on track. And then his car exploded.
Let me just check the time on my Samsung phone instead of my movement watch.
Feels like the universe is trying to kill me.
Yeah. Well.
But he's fine.
Oh, good.
Yeah. He almost
Stay away from
once
this
he almost
man.
died from a heart attack, he's just like, you know what? This is fine. At least I'm not dying of a heart attack again.
Yeah.
But then it's funny at the end of like the piece, he's like, oh shit, my adrenaline pills were in the car. And then the Curb Your Enthusiasm music plays.
Bum,
Yeah.
bum, ba-da-da-da-da. Well,
Freeze frame. And then he has a heart attack.
I hope he does a lot better in the future.
Yeah.
Moving on. Authorities hunt platypus serial killer in Australia. Is it a platypus that is a killer, or a guy is killing only platypuses?
It's
Platypi.
Some human is murdering platypus. It's actually fucked up.
Does he run around and say like, this is a mistake from God? Because it's got the duck, it's got the claws, it's got the tail.
They are
They're an abomination.
They're a joke. They're an abomination.
Yeah.
No, basically it's this one part of Australia where platypi live, and someone is capturing them, cutting their heads off, and then dumping the bodies like miles away in a place where platypuses don't live.
Oh, you
So the
would think that he would
authorities-
do it in front of them, so he was, watch your back.
Yeah, well, the authorities, they're making a whole MO profile of this guy. Like he wants these bodies to be found. He gets a thrill from finding out that people are finding these dead platypuses. Mm-hmm. So if you see someone murdering a platypus,
Alert your local
if you
authorities.
see something, say something.
At least he didn't try to like swim away.
Yeah. Well, he might.
You never know.
A woman took her dog to a furry convention thinking it was an event for pets.
Apparently everyone.
What happens next will not surprise
Not
you.
shock you, because everyone loved it.
Yeah, no.
They're like, oh, cool, a doggo.
Yeah, she didn't. So she runs a dog like rescue charity sort of thing, and she was contacted by the furry convention to be like their. I guess each convention they have a charity there
Yeah.
that they try to raise money for. So she didn't know what the hell she was getting into, and boy was she surprised. And she was like, apparently they made like $15,000.
Well, that's good.
She was just like,
Was
yeah,
she
I was
like-
a little confused. I was expecting people in business suits, and I saw a bunch of people dressed up like giant anthropomorphic animals.
Having sex with each other.
Yeah. And my dog couldn't figure it out and kept trying to sniff all their asses.
The dog was like, my tail is attached to my body, yours is attached via butt plug.
Yeah.
So,
But it all worked out.
and everyone had fun.
Yeah.
We've gone to bat for furries many times.
Yeah.
We don't need to.
The
explain
furries are,
They're very nice.
We're inclusive people here.
Yeah.
A lot of our fans are furries.
Yeah,
And,
that's fine.
they seem like good people on the Twitter and the YouTube comments.
We found out the other day that someone that used to work for the company might be a furry.
Really?
Yeah, you know. You showed it to Tori.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, let's move on.
Massage parlor busted after hundreds of condoms clogged the pipes.
It's not just for college campuses anymore. Because yeah, well, it's a great way to find out that they're giving tug jobs in there, or fucking, or sucking.
What do you... Stop flushing condoms down the pipes.
Well, where
It's
do you
really
put them, Elliot?
in the trash
Oh, and then where do they go?
to a landfill.
Where they exist for thousands of years, instead of being flushed out into the ocean where they belong.
It's real bad for the pipes.
Yeah.
Condoms, sanitary napkins, ladies. My fucking neighbors.
Clean it up, ladies.
I got 3 women that live above me. They flooded my house with shit because they kept fucking flushing their shit. And I live on the bottom floor. I have to deal with it. It was terrible. It was like the worst day of my life. Throw it in the trash. Anyway, yeah, they figured out it was the massage parlor. You know, they're giving massages. There shouldn't be thousands of condoms in these pipes. Probably running a prostitution ring. And they were.
What if one of the guys that works there is a habitual masturbator?
Who masturbates into a condom?
We've all done it, right, guys? We've all done it, right? It's
Condoms are expensive.
You go to the Planned Parenthood and get them for.
Stop it.
Yeah, stop jerking off into condoms,
Yeah,
everyone.
If you're worried about it getting out,
everyone else.
You grab it by the end, you stretch it, tie it in a knot, throw it away.
Nah, then someone will find it.
In the trash?
Yeah.
Hey, dumpster diving, they know what they're getting into.
A dumpster.
A dumpster. You asked for this.
Could be anything in there. Santa Claus accused of handing out sweets and posing for photos without license.
We've been going after the Santa guy for years.
We only caught him when we found out his pipes were clogged with condoms.
Yeah. This is some bullshit.
I saw Santa yesterday, and it was crazy seeing him in the summer.
Wait, where was
springtime.
Santa?
Well, it was a guy who you know is playing Santa during the wintertime. He still had the beard.
Did he have his
and
license? You can't just go around being Santa unless you have a license.
Well, I wouldn't want to go around and ask anyone for their papers, Elliot. That would be wrong.
Yeah, well anyway, this guy, he apparently needed a license to hand out candy during Christmas.
Oh, it was during Christmas?
Yeah. He finally showed up to his court date, dressed as Santa, of course.
Yeah.
Because it worked in the Miracle on 34th Street movie.
And I believe the Santa Claus
I believe the law says you can't convict a man in a Santa costume for any crimes.
He's too jolly.
That's Father Christmas you're trying to send to jail.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did he go to jail?
No, they postponed his court date. Santa Claus can't catch a break. This guy's, he could have been using that time.
Guys, I have to rent this suit every single time. It is expensive.
Yeah.
No, well, oh
Leave
well.
Santa alone.
South Dakota man gets a $190 fine for snake without leash.
Put a leash on the snake. I don't know, this guy, it sounds ridiculous, but in that state, you need to have, if you're taking your pets outdoors, you need to have them restrained or in a container or something. This man, he was just going out to like parks with his giant fucking python and just like, you know, like, all right, go play. Snakes all wiggling around outside and like park rangers are like, come on.
Tie your snake down.
Some people are definitely afraid of snakes.
Yeah.
Can you carry him or something, put him in a box?
I feel like that would cause a whole bunch more problems if you put a leash on a snake.
I don't know how you even would.
Just keep the snake inside. Or don't have a snake as a pet.
Yeah.
They're
I mean,
weird.
I got no problem with snakes.
I got nothing.
I enjoy a good snake.
I've met a number of people who are nice people who have owned snakes.
Yeah, they're fine. Anyway,
Maybe move out of South Dakota.
Yeah, seems a little hot for a snake.
Yeah.
Insane Clown Posse accused of plagiarizing Chicken Soup for the Soul.
What were the lyrics?
It wasn't lyrics. It was Violent J on YouTube like 10 years ago posted a video where he read a poem he had written, but it was actually a poem he plagiarized from Chicken Soup for the Soul. And the author of that poem is not happy about it.
I find it heartwarming that Violent J read Chicken Soup for the Soul at all, but enough to steal a section from it that was probably so deep that he thought he'd get away with it.
Yeah.
Like he read the book at least halfway through.
Yeah, Violent J, you know, in this case, it wasn't Violent J that read that poem, it was Sensitive J.
You wanna know how to cheat at reading books? You start halfway through and then you just read the end. No one's ever gonna ask you about the beginning of the book. If like someone quizzes like, Sal, what did you think about that ending? They're never like, oh, what did you think about the start? That way, you can cheat at it. Unless it's like a math book. Then it's really fucking hard.
There you go.
White House Correspondents' Dinner coming soon.
Life pro tips.
Yeah, just read half the book, but make sure it's the back half.
All right, final headline. Recep Tayyip Erdogan signs emergency decree on laser hair removal to win votes in Turkish referendum.
I don't get it.
He was at a convention.
And I'm a joke writer.
He was at a convention for the beautician industry in Turkey. And he was like, you know what? I'm gonna allow beauticians to do laser hair removal instead of just doctors. And everyone clapped. They were like, yeah, you're gonna create so many jobs at the beauty places. So he got
What
their
could
vote.
go wrong?
Yeah, and they're gonna be like, yeah, give this man all the power. He gave us jobs as laser operators.
Seems like, now don't get me wrong, but it seems like being like hairless in Turkey wouldn't really be like a mass appeal kind of thing.
No, a lot of people are saying it violates a lot of tenets of the Quran.
I'm glad I was right.
I don't know.
Well,
he's out there getting the votes though.
Yeah, that's
gotta
all that
give it to him.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for this week's episode. Please check out other stuff. We did a best of Party Time episode over here where you can see all the stuff you're missing out on when you don't watch our live streams on Party Time, but you should go subscribe to that channel while you're over there. And then we also did a podcast with Scott Mance, Movie Mance.
See it!
Who's gonna tell you how to break through into the Hollywood industry of being a guy who doesn't create movies, but judges them.
Yeah. Check
Fun.
it out.